Did you guys hear me? Can you come sit down, please? We've got to start the show. Come on.
So you can take a dip before diving into work.
Bye, have a good day, Sue. Yeah.
This is a compact city where you can scoot or stroll almost anywhere in just 15 minutes. This is a place to work hard, think big, and break the mold. Where your groundbreaking research can change the world.
We bring color to life.
This is called Doma Purpose.
Chuck it in.
With a buzzing network of businesses right on your doorstep. This city is packed with community spirit.
Feeling it?
Transform your passion project into the next great startup.
The stitching is perfect.
In a creative city that supports entrepreneurs. From city centre desk to spectacular countryside and coast in just 30 minutes.
Well, good evening, everybody. Come on. Okay, so thank you so much to everybody, from everyone that's taken part, to all of the organisers, but certainly to the audience that have joined us tonight so that we can really put on a great show for you and show you just how amazing these teams are in terms of what they've created. Now, I could sit or stand on stage. Those of you that know me know I'm quite comfortable to do that, but I won't, because why don't we find out for ourselves what the teams have been up to for the last 54 hours.
Here we are again. We're off to an absolute flyer again in 23. First night we broke our own record. 47 one-minute pitches was the sort of curtain raiser on the event, and we had to last night get that whittled down to 10 that we're working on now. You can see them behind me, hard at work, getting on it. So that was a tough night. 47 ideas that we've got to pick just 10. That was tough, but I'm so impressed by what people were. Yeah, just their ability to get up on stage, give us a minute of wonder and excitement. And now we're trying to turn that into a business, trying to turn that into a show for the finale, and we're in good nick.
What an amazing mix of people, probably the most diverse group that we've had so far. 40% of the guys here are students, and I can tell you they are learning so much from the business people that they're working with. And we've got businesses from all over, not just Norwich, we've got people from Cambridge here. So yeah, absolutely amazing. I literally cannot wait to see what everybody creates.
I often use the analogy that this event is a bit like BBC Apprentice followed by Dragon's Den, and actually I've got it completely wrong. This is a real authentic experience where people are genuinely trying to solve problems that they experience and doing their utmost best to solve those in this short space of time, the 54 hours. And when we come out the other end, we're all super proud, the judges are proud, the mentors are proud, and the attendees, and that can last for weeks and even years.
I'm not going to lie, I get emotional when I see that because we're so busy throughout the whole event. You kind of lose track of everything that's happening, and it's just amazing to see it back on screen and see just how much everybody has achieved and how much everybody puts into it is just absolutely amazing. So honestly, for all of you that made that video possible, please give yourself the biggest round of applause. I'm so proud. Okay, so meet the team. Everybody that was involved in this crazy, crazy event. You've made this happen. You've made us very, very proud. Now, we couldn't do any of this if it weren't for our sponsors. We work tirelessly kind of leading up to the event to be able to get it ready, but for us to be able to have a venue like this, for us to be able to put on such a great spread for everybody, we need to have the sponsorship. So our primary sponsors, the UEA, have been absolutely amazing at supporting us throughout. We've got Aviva, we've got Leeds Prior and Greater Anglia, all sponsors that for a long time have helped us to make Sync the City happen. And we also have supporting sponsors. Brew Digital did an amazing job of getting our website ready so that you guys could buy tickets. We've got Langham Recruitment that have been involved throughout, and we even had Finch Design Company helping us with some of the posters and materials that you were able to see. This is probably our favorite because you have kept us so well fed. throughout the event. It's been amazing. So our food and drink sponsors, Norfolk County Council, Artlist, Naked Tech, which of course is Naked Wines, Breakwater IT, and Simply Roasted, delicious low-fat crisps were very nice. So yeah, thank you very, very much to our sponsors. We have a special, very special hello today, which I feel incredibly proud to have you with us. So the Right Worshipful Lord Mayor of Norwich, we've got Councillor James Wright here with us. So can we all give him a round of applause and a thank you for coming to join us. And of course, it couldn't happen with this very scary panel of judges staring back at me right now. So yeah, a fantastic group of judges here with us. So we've got Stephen, who of course is the founder of Ask Stephen, who you heard from on our kickoff on Thursday. We've got Professor Ben Garrett, who is an author, broadcaster. Oh, we've got live footage as well of them in front, I can see on the screen here. And we have also got Laura Bilinski, I hope I pronounced that correctly, so Commercial Director of Local IQ, Dr. Nicola Hancock, and we're very pleased to have you with us and have you now joined the UEA as Associate Pro Vice Chancellor for Innovation. So very important to have her with us today. And then we've got the lovely Neil Riley, who's joined us, co-founder of Saleable. So what a credible group of people that you guys have already started pitching to through the event. And we saw just an element of it, like this really, and I can't echo what John says, like it's not Dragon's Den, it's not The Apprentice, it's so much more. Like it really is a boot camp of just what you have to think about when you even consider starting a business. And I think, you know, I mentioned in the footage there that 40% were students. We actually got that number a little bit wrong. Can you believe that it was 50% of the participants in the event and the products that you guys have witnessed today are students, brand new to the world of innovation and creation, and they definitely have been through a serious boot camp. But to tell you a little bit more about that, we have got the wonderful John Fagan is going to come to the stage and talk you through a bit of the process they've been through.
Thanks, Hayley. Oh, cool. Okay, so I'll just talk you a little bit through the process. You saw that crazy video there. It's quite straightforward. On the Thursday, we don't plan the event at all. We don't know who's going to come up on stage, what ideas are going to be pitched. So people just come up on stage, they line up there. One year we only had 10 people pitching, which was a disaster, so we had to get them a little bit drunk, and then after that, we actually got 30 pitches. But anyway, we didn't need alcohol this year. We had 47 pitches, as you say, and then we whittle that down to the 10. We have to get it down to 10 for a serious voting. And then those people who are on stage here, they've won their idea, won their pitch. They basically have to recruit a team, recruit for their company within the next 15 minutes. So it's quite a crazy process. And then we also obviously have to get a good balance of skills in the team, you know, and also a balance of students and professionals, so that you don't have one team stealing all the designers, etc. Yeah, and then they just go through the Friday and the Friday and then through to the Saturday, building their team, building their business, and then they pitch, which you're going to see in a couple of minutes, and then they win it. So fairly straightforward, but yeah, I show this slide every year. It's not so straightforward. It's a bit of a crazy experience. It's super intense, super intense. Your brain is working at 100%, like for 54 hours. It's super intense. You're thrown in with all these strangers with their own ideas, etc. So it's a real challenge to do it. So we're super proud of you will be, as I said in that video, super proud of what you've achieved. So we've put a whole bunch of teams through this process over the 9 years. We've put through 90 startups, let's say, and I just keep having to make the font on this smaller and smaller each year to try and get it all onto one slide. And yeah, so we have class of 2023. There they are, there they are. So this class of 2023, this is the companies that were started in the last 2 days. And, it started with a piece of card, just a card. nothing other than a few words on a piece of card. So everything you see today is created from absolute scratch. All the code, all the market research, all the finances, all the branding, the actual pitch you're going to see didn't exist on Thursday afternoon. So shall we get on with it? Yeah, okay, so we're going to switch over laptops. If you just give us a little bit of time to switch over, and then this is the order we're going to have the startups pitching. It'll normally be one or two people pitching. Got strictly 5 minutes, so we've got the bell demo on the bell. There we go. And when are you going to play the bell? Straight on 5 minutes. Straight on 5 minutes. And then we've got 2 minutes of questions from the judges, and then there'll be a bell on the 2 minutes as well. We're going to stick strictly to schedule, and then on with the next startup. So if you can kind of get yourself organized in that order, and we'll get the laptops changed over here. And yeah, let's get going. Let's give it up for all the people. It's very nerve-wracking. Well done. Cool. Okay, yeah, cool. Well, I guess, yeah. Are you going to have it there so that you can jiggle with it if there's issues? Yeah, I think so, yeah, cool. In case there's issues, then you can just sort it out. Yeah.
Hello, could we have the picture for Reading Genie to the stage, please? Reading Genie.
John, we need a dongle. Yeah, do not start. I want my seconds. Hello, everyone. My name is Catherine, and I'm from Reading Genie. 44% of children aged 7 to 11 don't enjoy reading for pleasure. Reading Genie aims to change that. In 2016, there was 77% of children who enjoyed reading. We're now on 56%. It's a 20% reduction. And I think that number's only going to get worse. What's the current solution? Go to the library and find a book. You can't find one, just keep looking. You'll find it eventually. You'll unlock that passion for reading. I'm not sure that's the answer anymore. So we went to the streets, or the houses, and we asked parents, why isn't your reluctant reader reading? Oh, there's no sound.
Playing in the park, and so he just sees it as he sees it as work. He sees it as a task.
She never finishes anything. So we pick up book after book and start probably and read maybe a third, and then she gets bored.
Why don't you like the Harry Potter books or any other books? It's boring and it's hard to read.
And why is that? Well, I'm really embarrassed to say this is a photo my 8-year-old daughter took of us on the train to London. and both my partner and I are on our phone, reading tweets, reading WhatsApp, looking at the news feed. Yes, we aren't reading a book, but what we are doing is reading. So we surveyed 79 parents and asked them why their reluctant reader wasn't reading. And the top 3 reasons: their child's attention span was too short, books are too hard, and the books just don't match their interest. So the content they're reading isn't individualized, and it's too hard. So it's not individualized for ability either. Introducing Reading Genie. We want to get the reluctant reader into reading. How do we do that? We give them bite-sized content that surrounds their interest. We use AI to generate the content that they're really into. So forget picking out a book from the library. If the child's into dinosaurs, we'll give them that. If the child's into Bake Off, we'll give them that. We'll give them jokes, we'll give them riddles, we'll give them spells, everything surrounding what they're into. So what does it look like? You fill in your child's details and you sign up. And then you tell the AI engine what they're into. Are they into dinosaurs? Are they into makeup? Are they into gymnastics? You give a little bit of info of what they like, and you set how frequently you want them to do the Reading Genie. And then you set a reward. It's an external reward to keep them motivated. And off the Reading Genie goes and starts creating that reading magic. So here's Timmy's Reading Genie bites. They get 3 bites set by the parents, all surrounding the topic they are interested in. They can like it, they can dislike it, they can ask for more. But what we've done there is when they like it, it teaches the AI engine, the kid likes this, give them more content surrounding this. So we're making it get smarter as the children progress. And of course, as they finish, they earn a Genie lamp, and those Genie lamps go towards that external reward they've negotiated with mum and dad. We believe that an engaged, informed parent is a helpful parent. So we send them a dashboard telling them what the kid's been up to, and importantly, translating our bites that they've read in Reading Genie into chapters in a real book for those book lovers. Of course, there is competition. It wouldn't be a world without it. So we've looked at the competition online, and yes, there are people doing literacy with AI, but the mistake they're making is they're just reinventing the wheel. All they're doing is putting a paperback into AI and thinking somehow you're going to engage these kids. I don't think you are. I think we've got to look at it completely different. So what's the size of the market? Well, there's 3.7 million children aged 7 to 11, where there's 1.2 million of them who are reluctant readers. If we only get 50,000 sign-ups, we will conquer 4% of the market. What that means financially, when we take a $4.99 price per month and take away the costs, is we'll turn over $517,000 a year with the 50,000 subscribers. We went to the market and said, what do you think? And the overwhelming response was, yes, we'd love this. I'd get my kid on it. So where do we go with that? Well, there's no reason it has to stay in English. We can do it in any language we want. And we can start looking at safe, branded content around the facts of the things kids are interested in as another revenue stream. That's Reading Genie. We want to unlock the joy of reading. Sorry, I ran away. One tactic. Yeah. Is that your question? Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Hello, hello. For those of you that didn't hear at the back, I was just complimenting Catherine on an amazing pitch. Well done. And my first question, Catherine, is do you believe you're marketing to just the parent, or do you believe that you have to market to the child as well?
So the kids are reluctant readers. So if you market an app that says read more, I find it unlikely that they're going to be interested in it. The people with the pain point are the parents, and we initially did our research with the kids and realized, no, they're not the people who will make the decision to put this in front of a child. So we'd market to the parents because they're the ones with the real pain. The child doesn't care that they're not reading books.
Thank you. Second question for you. I saw the statistics, and obviously you've started from 7. Do you believe that it can go lower?
No. So when you're under 7, you're learning to read. When you're over 7, you're reading to learn. Under 7, it's the fundamentals of phonics, and we don't want to do that. We want to, this is for the stage when the kids got the basics, and now they're learning to fly, essentially. And with integrating AI, if you try and stick it into the rigidity of phonics, it won't work. But if you're doing an older age group, you can get much richer content out of AI.
Thank you, Catherine.
You're welcome. I'll run away now.
No problem.
Can I go up? Am I fine to go? MediMatch, your care the way you know it. We're going to do a quick survey and optional participation, but raise your hand if you've ever traveled abroad. And keep your hands up, okay, keep your hands up if you've ever been ill unexpectedly when you're abroad and had to go and find a clinic and got lost amongst the sea of medications in a foreign language. Yeah, quite a headache, right? That pun was intended. Thank you. 69% of the people that we asked agreed with us. And as someone from the States, I can tell you that medication and the cost of it and choosing it is on the forefront of my mind. When you go and travel to a foreign place where you don't know the language, it can be tricky at the best of times. I was recently in Portugal when, unfortunately, I woke up with a bunch of bug bites on my face. That's me. That was me before when I was happy and unbitten. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get medication because I was afraid of taking something that was going to worsen my symptoms or afraid of spending money on something that was ultimately going to do nothing. And since I have reactions to medications like I do bug bites, I wasn't exactly willing to take a risk. And it's not just something like a simple Google search that will get you through this. Unfortunately, the same brand can have different ingredients in different places. And take, for example, if you are vacationing in France and your child gets an eye infection. You typically take Opex to help, and it's got an antibiotic that will make it ease your child's infection quicker. Unfortunately, on holiday, it's a no-go, because in France, there's actually not antibiotics that are allowed to be in Opex. The last thing you want when you're unwell and abroad is to have your over-the-counter medications in a muddle. And that's where our app, MediMatch, comes in. We match your known over-the-counter branded medication from your home country with the medication equivalent in the country where you are. This can also flag contraindications, allergies, or dosage differences that you would oftentimes miss because it's in another language. So if you have heartburn in Helsinki, you can tap in, put in your antacid, and get the equivalent in Finland. Maybe you have a rolled ankle in Rotterdam, let's say. Well, the ibuprofen there is 2 times as strong as it would be here in the UK, and so it's good to know that you only need to take 1 tablet instead of 2. But let's get down to business. We're looking to partner with insurance companies, offering our app as an additive or as a white label solution. This reduces the burden on the claims teams that's instead giving the customer authority and autonomy to make the simple pharmacy decisions themselves. We have a built-in system that will reroute any issue that is outside of the scope of over-the-counter medication. And this can act as a 1-stage triage. That way, it reduces the man hours that is used to respond to people who are asking about claims that might not even be followed through with. That means the cost containment is built into our solution. 1 in 50 travelers' claims are unfortunately denied, and that leaves us with a lot of unhappy customers. With our app, we can retain them and instead rid their irritation both metaphorically and literally. We did interviews with insurance experts, and they told us that their patients or their customers are moving towards a more digital-based model that is able to be customized. So they want to choose their cover, not pay for something that they don't want, and they want it all within the convenience of their phone. And 92% of people said that they would get travel insurance, which shows the amount of care that people take about their health before going on a holiday. We're looking to integrate with existing insurance companies to create a seamless customer experience, and this has an appetite. 71% of people said that they would buy our app as an add-on to travel insurance, and 82% of the people we spoke to said that it would make their communication with a pharmacist more convenient and easy. Thank you so much. Forgot about the questions as well.
Don't leave, we're here. Hello.
Hi. Hello.
First off, again, absolutely beautiful presentation, and it's very interesting to see a real problem. I have had my headaches in Helsinki. They exist. They're not fun. Thinking of Helsinki and thinking of Rotterdam, both places that have very specific needs, do you find that there's a market you're trying to approach first? Is there a place you're trying to land, or are you looking for insurance companies all over the world?
So our first testing that we did and built out the technology for was for Spain. And then we would be looking to expand within the EU. And then potentially, as we grow within the EU, we could then go other places.
Okay, cool. And a follow-on question. The substitutions of medicines, I'm presuming this is something you're going to have to keep up to date quite a lot. Talk to me about how your company was planning on handling that problem.
Yep, so that would be passed off to the insurance company, whether they wanted to have it as the white label that they integrated themselves, or if they wanted us to host it with our own set of static data. But then that would be then employed through the insurance company to keep it up to date, which also places the liability on the insurer rather than on Match as an app itself. Anything else? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And then, good luck.
Ready? Hello everybody, I'm Daisy. I'm a student at East Norfolk Sixth Form College. I recently turned 18 and I've just been earning for around a year or so now. And I've come to the conclusion that I know absolutely nothing about personal finance education. And going to uni next year means that I'm opened up to many financial hurdles, such as tuition fees, student loans, and living expenses, which are really important for my generation. This is also important for young students, school leavers, and everyone who is in this boat with me together. I'm sure everyone in this room at some point has experienced financial independence and not knowing what to do with yourself when you're in that situation. Therefore, we need a solution. 80% of respondents have had no financial education at all in their whole life. 80%, that's crazy. Also, another statistic is it's 7 times more likely for my generation to be taking out additional debt or new debt than to my grandparents' generation. 7 times more likely. Also, 12.8 million people in the UK have fallen behind repayments this year. This is not okay. Something has failed in my life which needs to be changed. Therefore, I have a solution. I call it Budget Buddy. Budget Buddy is a personal financial app which includes interactive modules that people can take a step-by-step approach through with a gamified approach so that it's engaging for my generation. Think of it like Duolingo mixed with Heyday or something. And you can learn through and earn coins as you learn about these financial topics like taxes or pensions or mortgages. You can spend these coins in your own interactive city where you invest and pay for vehicles and buildings and houses, which is really important when it comes to like actually applying this to real financial, real life approach educations. And therefore we need this to really reinforce the learning. And I feel like this is what's really important about my app. It's the learning aspect of it. I'm using micro-learning, which means that my generation will be really into this with bite-sized approaches. Because I don't know about you, but my generation have absolutely no attention span whatsoever. We can't focus on something for more than 10 seconds without going on to something else. Therefore, this needs to be quick, short, and snappy so that it's engaging for us, the main audience for this app. This is Bloom's taxonomy. This is what I've aimed my learning aspects on. It's got a 6-step approach to efficient learning styles. So you go from remember, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. This makes a really efficient learning system for these students, young people, and school leavers for their apps. And I'm sure you're thinking, wow, what a great idea. It has already been done before. Zogo is an American company, therefore we need it in the UK for my generation. And Go Henry, it aims at children, like a banking finance app, but I'm not a 7-year-old. I don't want to be taught like a 7-year-old, so we need this app for my generation because we're the ones stepping into financial independence soon, and we need this importance. Anyways, we'll carry on. But yeah, how we're going to make money is that how we're going to make money is that we're going to use the 3 main revenue streams. We're going to use individuals that pay £8 per month, £8 a month for the direct app, £8 a year, sorry, £8 a year for the direct app. And we'll also go into schools. Schools can pay for £4 per student per year, which means that they can access a bundle. So honestly, I just so they can access a bundle. So that was the schools. They can teach their students for bundles, so they can set it as homework tasks or anything like that. And our third revenue is financial organizations like banks, which can use this, and we can create partnerships so they can offer our product as a benefit to their companies, such as Santander does train tickets for students. And like I previously said, Go Henry could be a partnership with us. We could partner with them, so it's not just young children, but my generation as well. And to break even, we've predicted that we'll break even in year 2 from all of the functions I've said, which will be really good. And future plans is that year 1, we're a lean startup business, which means we won't have to pay for salaries for these young expertise, because it's just getting us ready for the future steps. And then year 2 and 3, we can start employing educational expertise in colleges. We can go into schools and teach them about this finance. And years 3, we can even start going just out of the UK. Every student will be experiencing what I'm experiencing, which is this stump of what am I meant to do with my money? So it's really important that we address this, and that it's really important. And yeah, I hope that you join me to redefine personal finance education for not only you, but your children and your children's children for the rest of our future. Thank you. This is Budget Money.
Wow, what a wonderful presentation. Well done.
Thank you.
You also answered one of my questions, so not so well done because I'm kind of struggling now. What I loved about your idea and concept is I spoke to the judges earlier and said it was almost like a Go Henry for adults, for young adults. My 13-year-old daughter's in the room today and she desperately wants to get off of Go Henry and get a big girl's card. So your concept is spot on for your target market. You touched on your personal story, which was great. Thank you for sharing that with us. How are you going to get people like yourself to take that scary, and it is a scary first step into learning about finance and taking that first step into adult world? What do you think is the big message you're going to tell an 18-year-old like yourself to jump onto your app, to go on a scary journey?
I think that's a really good question. To be honest, I don't think that they need that motivation. Like, from speaking to my friends and family, they really want this app and they really want that personal finance education. Like, everyone feels like, why don't I know any of this? Why haven't I been told any of this? So I feel like it's already there. It's just we are actually making it happen, and we're making this work for my generation.
As Daisy's already answered my other question, do any other judges have any questions to ask? Yeah.
So first of all, fantastic for ploughing on, keeping going despite the technical difficulties. And I think that demonstrated your passion. You mentioned the banking sector. We haven't got a huge amount of time, but could you just elaborate a little bit on what you see the perceived relationship to be?
Yeah, I think the banks will be able to use our app as like they can use it within their app. So it's like they pay for us to use their app so that their student partnerships and students will be like, oh, I can learn about education and finance now in the app of the bank rather than it being through our app directly, if you know what I mean.
So within those student account offers? Yeah.
Yeah, so
okay, that's fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And the next group we have is Dadvice.
Hello, everyone. Hello, judges. Hello, Mr. Mayor. My name is Chris, and I'm a new father. Becoming a father was the most stressful, scary, exciting, terrifying, overwhelming thing I've ever done. And I think, like a lot of new dads, I thought it'll be fine. How hard can it be? It's just a little baby, right? Of course, I was wrong. Not long after little Eva there arrived, my wife started going to the local baby groups, the swimming classes, the mummy meetups. What about me? I didn't need to go to those classes, right? I was a bloke. I don't need that kind of support, right? I'm not looking for anyone else. I'm fine. But of course, I was wrong. I wanted that support. I wanted to meet other dads. I wanted to create a support network. It turns out I wasn't the only one.
Mums are always the main target when it comes to parenting.
It's just always changing. As a dad, I spent an embarrassing amount of time on Mumsnet.
Finding like-minded dads.
I've made some friends and just getting advice from a dad's perspective.
Maybe the only thing you have in common.
Being able to find someone who's in a similar situation,
less isolated, less lonely,
would actually be really helpful.
1 in 3 new fathers have mental health concerns. 1 in 5 men admit to having no friends. These are scary stats. Something is wrong here. Our market research, we looked at the resources out there. Mumsnet receives approximately 8 million monthly users. You compare that to Dadsnet, to just 5,000 monthly users. There's something wrong there. The resources available for dads currently aren't working. Our market research has shown us the reason for this is that dads want a connection. They want to meet other dads. We feel like sites like Mumsnet and Dadsnet are missing this. Introducing the solution, Dadvice. Dadvice enables dads, new fathers, to connect to other dads. It learns your interests, your hobbies, and suggests people you could meet with. The screen there shows an example of how we intend to make money. There's a premium course there. We also add in-app ads and a referral model for venues to encourage them to hold events centered around dads. We all know men are rubbish at organising anything. I know from my personal experience, I've got friends, but I'm rubbish at organising anything. I never message any of them. I never arrange any meetups. Our solution to this is Dadvice Bot. So when you're chatting to another dad on Dadvice, it'll see that you're getting along and you've started that initial connection, and it'll be able to suggest local events to you or local meetup opportunities. And we know that events work. Right? Take this event, for example. I came here hoping I'd meet some new dads. A lot of you probably remember me as the Tinder for Dads guy at the start. But it worked, right? Like, I've met dads, I've made that connection whilst being here. Our channels to market include key partners such as Bounty. If you don't know what Bounty is, they're the little packs that you get when you're going to your pregnancy checkups and that. But we spoke to Bounty, and they're really excited about this idea. Our launch phase will be self-funded to begin with. We'd look for our first round of funding, Q3, at 250,000. We predict we could break even in Q3 in our second year. And we believe Dadvice could be profitable by our third year. Thank you for listening to me today. Dadvice will empower dads, or will empower men to become the best possible dads and partners they can be. Thank you.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Well done, well done.
Thank you.
Can I just start by saying, I really feel the passion from you, and I believed every word that you said, okay?
Thank you.
My first question, we know that men are harder to kind of communicate to and get the message across. So my question is, how will you build the confidence in order to get them onto using the app?
It's a good question. I mean, the dads that I've spoke to, like the dads that we showed in the clip, they want that. You know, they want to meet new dads. It's just the services out there, the resources out there aren't working. You know, like DadsNet, 5,000, right? There should be the same number of dads that are looking for his mums, right? If Mumsnet's getting 8 million, but they're just missing that connection, I think. For me, that's my reason, really. That's why I never go on DadsNet. I didn't even know DadsNet existed, right?
Thank you. Another question is, do you think during the process we were able to consider how you could potentially market to the women to encourage the men to use the app?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that is something we definitely want to do in the future. I think we said, to start with, we just want to focus on new dads. But that idea would be amazing. Like, I know my wife would love to have something like that to get on and encourage me to go meet other people. But I think for the start, we would just focus on new dads, but that would be amazing in the future, yeah.
Thank you. Last question. I'm going to sneak another one in, just for you.
Go on.
What would be your key message to those men out there that are soon to be fathers? No pressure whatsoever.
No, it's a really good question. I'm glad you asked, because I'm really passionate about it. Like, being a dad is amazing, right? Like, it's just changed everything. Like, it's changed me. Like, I'd never be able to get up on stage and do this a few years ago, you know, but having Eva, and it's just, yeah, it's changed me, and it's just amazing. Just do it. Like.
Well done. Thank you.
Welcome Hubble to the stage.
نمی‌فهم چی کار کنم.
What am I going to do?
من باید کورس انگلیسی پیدا کنم.
I have no idea where to look for English courses.
من باید کار کنم، خرج خانه را بدم.
I really need to find some work to pay for the rent. We're Hubble, a not-for-profit, centralised hub that helps refugees and asylum seekers and migrants find the English classes that suit them best. Over 1,000 migrants arrived in Norwich last year alone. Most of them do not know where to find the right English class because there is no central hub to assess their level and direct them to the appropriate class. Each provider of classes, such as City College or adult education, must assess every potential student before they can be taught to discover their current level of English. This is essential to find the correct class for them. There is no direct funding for assessments and no guarantee that people who will be assessed will attend classes. It is an inefficient, disconnected process that creates long waiting lists, repeated assessments, classes with very low numbers, and increased anxiety and isolation for the migrants, putting people's integration journey and employment prospects on hold. Yesterday, we spoke to 20 students, and here's just one story of many. The student had to wait 3 years to get onto a class. They had to do 3 initial assessments, and then they had to do 3 enrollment forms, all in English, obviously. Right now, tonight, there are at least 200 people experiencing this waiting list situation in Norwich. A batch of assessments costs a provider about £3,000 a week for a single provider. These assessors are all teachers whose time could be better spent teaching. There are, of course, additional costs such as admin and venues to take into account. Politics aside, the numbers of migrants is going to increase due to geopolitical events and the climate crisis. This situation needs to be tackled, and it needs to be tackled now for the benefit of all of us. Therefore, we have created a mobile website called Hubble, an ESOL hub. ESOL is English for speakers of other languages. Access to the hub will be in your language and guide you to the booking of your personal face-to-face assessment with Hubble. Hubble's professionally trained assessors mark the student's level of English against agreed core curriculum criteria. The marks are updated onto the Hubble website, and then these assessments only need be done once, as they are transferable between providers. The student then returns to the website, and an interactive map shows appropriate upcoming courses matched to their grades. They can then choose the course best suited to their personal circumstances, such as meeting their job shift needs or their childcare needs, etc. It is important to stress that the hub is impartial and therefore trusted by all providers. They can check quality of assessment at any time. By removing the burden from them, we cancel the financial and emotional waste of repeated assessments. There are many grants available to help launch this startup, and I have just applied for one. To be sustainable beyond our launch, we will charge lesson providers an annual subscription fee on a sliding scale based on their student numbers. They are incentivized to subscribe as we can pitch the subscription cost lower than their total assessment costs. We can leverage economies of scale and provide efficient group assessments at a lower cost. We will add extra value by providing quantitative data for the immediate needs of the current learners. Imagine there are 20 people who say they need English classes for driving theory, to pass their driving theory test. We tell the providers provide the classes. We can also provide long-term strategic data that can show trends and forecasts. This is the same subscription model I have seen whilst working for Intran, which is a local translation broker currently used by all the providers. Our success hinges on the strong relationships we already have with the providers of classes and referring organisations. When we make this work in Norwich, it could easily be rolled out across the country. This is a quote from one of my students yesterday. If he had not dropped,
What a beautiful mic drop. That is just incredible. That was really good.
I
I've never
didn't see
seen a
the 4
drop on
minutes.
drop. Yeah, that's absolutely amazing. First off, absolutely incredible pitch. As a child of an educator, this is one of these things that I share a passion with. Also, as a child of an educator, I also understand that the volume of traffic across all of these different choke points, right? You have your assessments, you have other
Yeah.
places. Where do you see the biggest challenge right now? Is it the supply? Is it the supply of new educators? Is it the assessment process? Where are you trying to focus on first?
Right, the choke point is the assessment process because it's not equal. It's not allowing those people, some people get through the net, some people drop through the net. Many people drop through the net. There are many inefficiencies where classes could be filled. Those classes provided by providers could then actually, instead of having a waiting list, could be filled by people on the waiting list. However, you're right, there is an issue about provision, and that would be something I would dream with the Hub, would be able to add to it, would be provision of training or showing at least jobs for ESOL tutors and things like that. That would be the sort of dream step.
It's a good problem to have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
right. I also noticed the means of transportation, which is to say the means of delivery of this capability. It seems you're focusing on mobile. Have you done any research to identify that migrants coming over or anyone coming into Norwich who do not speak English as their first language, that they do have a phone?
Yes, in the sense that it's my job. I live this problem every day. This has been a dream of mine for a number of years. Most of them, I would be lying if I said 100%, but most of them do have mobile phones. What they don't have are laptops. They have mobile phones because it's their one way of connecting with their families in other countries. So, yes, that's why we wanted to do a mobile web, and that's why it has to be them face-to-face.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome to the stage, Decorate.
Hello. Have you ever worked in an office with motivational posters, blank walls, and fluorescent lights that makes you want to kill yourself? Like this one? Me too. Now, raise your hand if you've ever been to an art gallery or museum in your life. Wow, great start. But did you realize that most of the artwork that you have seen have been created by someone that probably knows the gallery owner, or most likely is already dead? Wouldn't it be nice if we can have beautiful workspaces and, by the same time, support and give a platform to emerging local artists? We solved that problem. Introducing Decorate. With Decorate, the 40,000 artists in this country will have a new gallery, every business in their local area. We provide local businesses with access to emerging artists to beautify their workspaces. Everyone wins. Even you, an average person, can support your local artist by just go down the road and go to a coffee shop or your workspace. This is how it works. On our platform, artists can upload their work, see what and where it's being exhibited, and they can keep track on how much they're earning. This is game-changing. Businesses have access to artists' portfolios, and with a quick search, they can find the best match. They can even test it out on their wall, or they can have it curated for them. Once the business make that selection, here is how it will look like. The artwork gets bought and delivered all through this QR code. You're welcome to try it out, by the way, it works. Anyone can just scan the QR code, and from there, they can choose the best buying option for them. They can even, they can have a smaller print or even the original and just take it right off the wall. They even have the option to buy the artwork by installments, all through their phone. But here is the fishing stroke. With Decorate, you will be inspired by new pieces of art every 3 months from emerging local artists. This feature allows subscription payers to have a variety of art that gets rotated with different pieces of their choosing. There are more than 3,000 businesses in Norwich alone. With blank walls, they are waiting to be filled with amazing art. Decorate is the solution. Now let's talk about numbers. Did you know that most artists pay a fee to apply, yeah, you heard me right, apply for an exhibition? So that means their work might not even be selected. So they lose their money and didn't even get an exhibition and exposure. And most local artists, not just in Norwich, but in the whole country, rely on sporadic fairs and pop-up markets to sell their work, which is not free or cheap. Well, with Decorate, they will get revenue whenever their art is being exhibited and whenever their work has been sold. We expect to break even after 14 months with an initial investment of 150K. And this is just considering one of the many revenue streams we are proposing. After 5 years, we project our business will be worth £5 million, and we plan to expand our business to nearby cities and eventually take over the art industry by a storm. Let's change the art world together. Thank you.
Thank you. Another absolutely fantastic presentation. We particularly valued the live action application of the art to the wall over there. It really, it made it real, which is great.
Thank you.
All businesses, all propositions, and particularly at this early stage, come with risk. I wonder if you as a team considered what future risks might be, and if you did, how have you thought about addressing them?
Right, thank you. So the only risk that we got, and we solved that quite quickly, it was a bit of a panic, to be honest, but it was the potential businesses not being willing to accept the exhibit from artists, local artists. Fortunately, Norwich is a really good community where everyone helps each other. So most of the people that we went there and do our research, they said, we normally do this already, we don't charge the artists. I'm talking about, local business as in coffee shops, restaurants, not, offices. So we are targeting, to avoid this problem, we are targeting mostly the corporates and offices to have, nice space to work in and give, their staff a nice, environment to spend their work.
Yeah, thank you. And just to be really super clear, so they can buy or rent the artwork?
Yes. So our base level subscription that we have set out is to rent for 3 months, 3 pieces of art. Obviously, depending on the size, so this will be the level size, medium size, 3 pieces of art, and this will be rented. So it could be the same artist, it could be different artists, so the business choose the art that they want to be exposed in their business place.
Okay, thank you. Thank
Sorry.
you for your answers.
And next, we welcome to the stage Ellie Buddy.
Shall we start? Greetings, everyone. Greetings, judges. Imagine this. If eating anything has a potential of causing you days-long agony. This is a reality for so many people around the country and around the world. 20 million people in the UK alone have conditions that are affected by food choices. 500,000 in the UK, there are 500,000 sufferers of irritable bowel disease. 1.1 million suffer from psoriasis, 1.5 million from eczema, 10 million from arthritis, and 13 million from IBS and celiac disease.
Thank you, Vanya. So the people we've spoken to over the last couple of days had led us to categorize 3 main groups of sufferers of food allergies and intolerances, who, when they eat the wrong food, can be either classified as uncomfortable, incapacitated, or deceased. All this is based on whether you can interpret this ingredient list from the back of the packet. Those at risk of death at least have the 14 major allergens written in bold text. But the hidden majority have to be aware of, for example, the 66 ingredients that may trigger a bout of IBS. In addition to this, all 3 groups are vulnerable to challenges brought on by visual impairment, physical impairment, and the very real effects of sleep, stress, and general health. Belly Buddy lets you scan packaging in the supermarket and get an immediate warning if it contains ingredients likely to impact your digestive health. Let's have a look at our working prototype in action. Got a little video. Fantastic. So, as well as scanning to give you a yes or no, we can also show you full details of all the dangerous ingredients contained within. And our feature roadmap includes options for variable tolerance levels for when you're in good health and really need that ice cream, recommended alternative products in collaboration with our trusted partners in the allergen-free sector, location and directions to public toilets, giving you access to a convenience at your convenience. And of course, we'll be leveraging AI to read ingredients from packets without barcodes, increasing accessibility through the use of audio and haptic feedback, and integrating non-English languages. Thank you very much. Over to you, Vanya.
Thank you, Philip. In the long run, we believe we could get a 7% market penetration. Oops. So we are currently on a subscription-based business model where we are charging people $1.99 a month after a 30-day free trial. And currently we have 2 competitors on the market. One of them is Fig, which is not available on the UK iPhone, and the other one is Sonsi, which has poor reviews and has not been updated in the last 2 years. So our first route to market would be direct to users, and you can discover us through the App Store through paid adverts. We'll also be using influencer networks and our charity partners, all of these which we have contacted and we are currently in talks with. In addition to that, in order to build scale, we will collaborate with employers to reduce sick days, as well as we'll be contacting healthcare providers, insurance companies, and ultimately the National Health Service. This is our commercial roadmap. In year 1, Q1, we'll be using grant funding to start up, and in year 2, we'll be fundraising. By year 3, we are expecting an annual recurring revenue of £1.6 million a year, 86,000 paying subscribers, and 425,000 in profit each year from year 3. In the future, we are looking. No? Okay, cool.
Oops. Guys, brilliant presentation. Well done. A round of applause, everyone. Well done, guys. A really fantastic presentation. I absolutely love the concept. I loved everything you presented right now, and I have a family member who suffers, and this would be a life-changing moment to have something like this in the market. What you raised in one of your last slides was that there was a competitor in the market who hadn't updated their details for 2 years, and that was going to be one of my main questions is, how are you going to combat the change in recipes from thousands and thousands of suppliers to supermarkets? What's your plans for that?
Go ahead.
Thank you, that's a great question. So the data we're pulling is from a very commonly available API. So it's widely available. I think it's legislated that this has to exist, so it's constantly updated.
Okay, great, thank you. And probably the second question for me is, if you could pick one organisation to partner with to supercharge your business in the UK, who would it be?
Alongside the various charities, it would probably be the National Health Service.
Okay, good, well done.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good.
And next we welcome to the stage Tame.
Thank you very much. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello everyone, thank you. My name is Alex and I'm a spider, is what I would say if I was a spider, which I'm not. I am here to tell you about Tame, a playful new platform we would love to develop to help you live fearlessly in the face of your phobias. In the UK right now.
So I have a phobia of injections and needles.
I have a phobia of spiders. I have a fear of heights.
It means injections aren't very fun, they're quite scary.
It impacts me as going on field trips. It just makes me scared to go anywhere dark.
In the UK right now, 10 million people are living with a debilitating phobia. When I say debilitating, I mean needless fear, anxiety, and isolation, getting in the way of people's work life, home life, and love life. What if I told you the love of your life is only one spider away? The fear of spiders, the fear of snakes, the fear of heights, even Iraqi butterophobia. The fear of peanut butter. Our own survey tells us that 80% of people with a phobia feel it affects their lives. 80%. That is a big deal. We want to solve this problem by using cutting-edge technology to give people their full lives back. Okay, so what's our solution? A playful self-help platform for people with phobias that contains an interactive toolbox of techniques, resources, and guidance to change people's lives. Cut through those mental health waiting lists and get the support you need on your terms now. We think this could be an app with a monthly subscription paid for by the user. We'd use cutting-edge AI technology to assess your needs as a phobic sufferer, creating a bespoke program using exposure therapy, interactive CBT, breathing exercises, mindfulness techniques, and also signposting to in-person support in your local area where appropriate. So why use Tame? Using our platform, you will playfully tame your phobia using an AI-generated visualization that changes in relation to your progress, bringing structure and guidance to your self-led treatment plan. Let's show you what we've got so far. As a first-time user, you'll be invited to tell us how you feel. We know it's hard to talk about your fears, so Tame would ask you simple yes or no questions, but with a seamless AI-powered voice interface. If you want to get more off your chest, you can. Tame would create a treatment plan based on your needs. A personalized dashboard to help you keep track of your progress. Your visualized phobia would change according to your progress so far. And here is an example of just one of the interactive exercises we would include. Exposure therapy. Now, there is a spider, if any of you are arachnophobic. Exposure therapy is a very effective, clinically proven way to confront your fear in a safe environment that you control step by step. This is an example of how we can now use augmented reality in a playful way, visualizing a virtual spider onto the actual environment around a user. You're in full control of the distance between you and the spider, as you can see through the user interface at the bottom of the screen. This can work for other phobias: snakes, heights, crowded spaces, buttons, even peanut butter. And we always make sure users are happy and feel grounded after any exposure therapy. Not only do we keep track of users' brave progress, but you earn a medal if you face your fear, because frankly, you deserve it. So we know that phobias are a huge problem, and we think we can bring a playful approach to find an effective solution. Our next step, collaborate with the experts. The University of East Anglia has excellent scientists and psychologists, and Norwich University of the Arts has passionate user experience designers and game developers. We think this could work brilliantly as an app with a monthly subscription that users pay for, yeah? But we want to go out and find our users and test ideas in real life. Thank you very much.
Well done, Alex. That was brilliant. And yeah, very, very entertaining and relevant. I used to be terrified of heights, so did a bungee jump and did a skydive and thought I was cured and still can't climb a bloody ladder. How much of this is decided by the curing or the progress of the patient, and how much of it is quantified by the tech that you have? What determines whether it's a success or not?
Well, I think that it comes down to how the user feels. Look, if it's debilitating, it gets in the way of your life, you're going to want a solution. What I think is really important about how this works and the tech behind it and the science behind it is that graded exposure is about taking you from the very, very bottom forward step by step. So, for example, if you're afraid of heights, right, why not just have the word height on the screen? Are you afraid of the word height on a screen? No, okay. What about if the word height was kind of like, looks a bit like an edge? Whereabouts are you right now in your journey? Because that's what it's about. It's about giving you a structured journey, but overcoming your fear.
Thank you. Anyone else? My next one is, you talk about CBT and you're talking about therapy. You're edging towards medical device here. Yeah. Is that something you would incorporate, or are you skirting around becoming a medical device?
So obviously, like, it's an app, okay? So we understand that nothing is more responsible than having proper medical treatment from a professional. But look, the waiting lists are massive. Getting an actual psychologist costs hundreds of pounds. There is a clear need here, and we're going to signpost. We would love to work with stakeholders, to work with NHS providers, and get them to buy into this, because actually we think we can give people targeted support right now, if that answers your question.
So it would become a medical device, potentially?
Well, no, so there's a different space here. I think it's important to recognize that people are going to want to have, or we think that they're going to want to have their own ability to kind of lead themselves and have that kind of relationship. But we'll test it. That's the next step. Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you very much. And we welcome to the stage Core Health.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Joe. I'm a medical doctor, and I'm from Core Health. I don't know about you, but I've got a bit of a sore back. This is an amazing event, but it's a lot of hunching over chairs and over a computer. And this is an all too familiar scene. Very common these days, desk workers or desk dwellers working in a poor ergonomic desk setup, or driving, and seated positions is just not natural for us. It causes all of this terrible back pain. In fact, 80% of us are going to have back pain in our lives, from a little niggle to something really debilitating. And it costs the UK 100 million a year. It's a lot of money. The cause of it, and I've treated a lot of patients with back pain, and the cause of it is weakness in the posterior chain muscles. These are all the muscles that you can't see in the mirror, and they keep you upright and keep you in a good position. And I've been asking my patients to do exercises to strengthen this. One of the best exercises is this. It's called the Superman plank, and it really strengthens those muscles. But you know, non-adherence to physiotherapy is up there in like 70, 80%, and that's from our research and others. And so how do we get people to do these exercises? Well, I thought, let's try and gamify them. And that's exactly what we've done in the last 48 hours. We've created a game that gamifies the Superman plank. It's a bit of an explainer video. So here we have the game in action. We've got Evan, body being tracked by the camera, and you can see as he moves, the camera is tracking his movements and controlling the video character in the game. So this is the Superman pose on the Swiss ball. Our business will sell these Swiss balls if you want to, but you can also play it on a cushion or a chair. And this really engages all of the posterior chain muscles and strengthens the back and improves the posture. And you can see here, the camera in the laptop is tracking his movements, and it's controlling the character in the game. So he can move the character right, move the character left, and it's all from a laptop. You can play it on a VR headset or even a mobile smartphone. So you can demo it over there later on, but how are we going to turn this into a business? Well, we're going to create it into our own app, which will have data on your movement. It will use AI to hopefully correct your movement as well. You'll have a leaderboard competition. You can play with other people. There'll be a community there, and there'll be educational content and videos which will help show people how to look after their back and how to keep a strong core and what the most effective exercises are. So we've actually gone out there to companies already, and they're really interested in this product. We've got local companies in the area, and they've said that they would spend £20 a month on the subscription. That's about £2 per month per user. For the smaller companies, up to £100 a month, £1 per user per month for the larger enterprises. We're not just going to stop there. There's lots of other places that we can get this app out to people in healthcare, digital healthcare companies, health insurance companies, maybe even the high street VR games rooms. They could be interested in this, but also not just these B2B to C businesses, but also a B to C. So gamers are going to be interested in this as well. And we found that 80% of people would pay £3 to download this game. So we've got the tech educators and the Unity Bootcamp. They've agreed to help us develop this game out. We've got the MVP working. You can go and play it later on if you want. We're Core Health. We want to make your core strong, and we want to create a movement doing it. Thanks.
Joe, thank you very much. A great presentation, and actually it's really current, isn't it? The gamification of exercise prescription. Don't need to tell you that, you've done your homework on that one, definitely. But back pain's really complex, and your work around the posterior chain I thought was very good, but who's prescribing? Who's going to make sure it's the right exercise for the right person because of the complexity of the problem you're trying to deal with?
That's a great question. So I think the most important message I have here is that it is a game. It's there to prevent back pain and to strengthen the posterior chain. And it's there for gamers. If you've got a back problem, then you need to go to see a healthcare professional, a physiotherapist. Now, possibly later on, after clinical trials, and when things get more complex and sophisticated, we can bring in the proper, maybe AI-powered diagnosis, Bayesian models to do that, which are already out there, and actually, have some kind of way of filtering out people that the exercises are inappropriate for. But this is really for now, it's just a game.
Okay, so sort of activity for the back muscles as
That's right.
such, rather than treatment for a specific problem.
To prevent to strengthen the core and prevent it from happening.
Absolutely. And on that note then, you've got that concept of back muscle strengthening. Do you see it going into any other space in the exercise field?
Yeah, I mean, actually I've thought of heaps of different games that can be helpful to strengthen the core and also potentially gamify actual physiotherapy exercises as well. Heaps of ideas on that.
Yeah, okay, thank you, that's really helpful. Anyone else? I think we're clearly there, we're there. Thanks, Joe.
Our final presentation for the evening, Trailblazers.
Hello, I'm Matt. I love technology. I'm a software developer, but we have a problem. Kids. Technology is turning our kids into zombies. Grown-ups aren't engaged with their children. Work-life balance is a real challenge in the modern world. We've got so many distractions. Being in the same space as a child and with your family is not the same as spending quality time with them. iPad culture. It's keeping kids indoors, it's reducing their social skills, it's affecting them more in later life. I've got a 9-month-old son. I don't want that to happen to him. Let's do something about it. It's also bloody expensive to keep these little zombies entertained. Every year, parents in the UK spend around £2,600 to keep their children entertained and do activities. And that means that 80% of parents, when asked, said that costs to do outdoor activities are just too expensive, so they just don't do them. In the local area, we've got the dinosaur park, we've got Banham Zoo, we've got just generic bowling. At least £10 per month to do any of, per person even, sorry, to do any of these activities. It's a crazy amount of money. It adds up quick when you've got a family. So, our mission is to reduce meaningless screen time, to provide engaging, fun activities for parents, for grown-ups, for children to do together that are cost-effective, and importantly, to provide physical activities and promote time outdoors. We present to you Trailblazers. Activities, anytime, anywhere. Let's start a quest. So you can imagine this, you're at home with your child at the weekend, you've not been out for a while, they're sitting on the sofa, they're screen in face, and you're feeling guilty. So you download the Trailblazer app, and you're not just going for a walk, you're going on a quest. Maybe you find an escaped dinosaur at Norwich train station. Maybe you need to release some energy and roar into the microphone. Or maybe you just use some brain power to complete some, cognitive tasks and solve some puzzles along the way. You get rewards for all of these things. There's badges, there's gratification. And we use AI to make sure it's playable anytime, anywhere. Zombies are notoriously hard to impress if they're listening and they don't have their face in a screen. But we found one. We distracted them away from the screen, and we asked what they thought. That's really cool. If you're not already impressed and not worked it out, there's many benefits to this. Firstly, we're creating a meaningful connection between the grown-ups and the children. We're creating memories. We're providing immersive learning along the way with all the activities. And most importantly, we're getting these little zombies off the sofa, turning them into active explorers. Why now? In 2018, the Break charity ran the Go-Go Hares Trail in Norwich. It brought 380,000 visitors to the city, and 81% of people who took part recommended it to their friends and family. So people were loving these trails. They're loving competing in these activities. We want to turn all of our outdoor spaces into landscapes of like challenges and activities, and we've already had commitment from various places in Norwich, like the Forum, like Norwich City Football Club. They want to get on board. There are 2.4 million families in the UK with children aged 4 to 10. 10% of Norwich's population is under 10 years old. There's a huge market for this. There's plenty of children who need stuff to do. There are activities that are available. Geocaching is a huge app. 3 million customers or users worldwide, but it's largely aimed at adults, and it's aimed at finding physical things in the real world. Our solution is fully digital. It's digital to be played anytime, anywhere, and it's aimed directly at children, providing stories that are engaging for them. We'll offer a free trial, get people hooked. They love it. Then, subscription model. We've got to earn money somehow, right? And we've looked into other revenue streams that we could implement in the future. And of course, we've got to spend money to make money. We've got a great team of developers on our team and some marketing expertise, so we can keep it lean for a year or so, spend money on marketing, and we've identified some key funding opportunities in the local area to allow us to take off. Step into a quest with us and stop the zombie apocalypse. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. I love that we've called children in this session everything from the best thing in my life to little zombies. We've gone full circle there, thank you. 2 quick questions. First, I love Strava. I'm on Strava a lot, and a lot of it is dictated and tailored by the runs that other people are doing, and it almost becomes quite organic. Is there an option for that in this project, where it's not purely down to you each time to map particular projects?
Yeah, definitely. So part of this is like, we would provide curated routes and trails to do, part AI generated, but I missed it, didn't get to it. We'd like to partner with other companies. So that could be with apps like Strava that provide routes that are well-known. It could be with well-known licensing, like for TV characters, and get people really involved. So there's loads of integrations and partnerships that we could do to make it really exciting.
And also part comment, part question, but there's a really lovely outdoor Pokemon Go sort of thing here, but tailoring to wildlife and ecology and conservation. Have you guys thought about and looked at big partners in the charitable sector, such as the Wildlife Trusts, of which there's 46 in the UK, RSPB, with combined millions of members in the UK?
Yeah, 100%. Pokemon Go was like an obvious inspiration, especially for the AR part. Again, didn't get to it, but charities would be a huge thing. Like, we'd like to give back to the communities and get involved, and yeah, that's a huge potential.
Anyone else? They're also revenue making as well. Charities have a lot of money,
yeah,
which they could then onboard you guys, I guess. Thank you, brilliant.
Thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Well done, everyone. Let's give it up for all those pitches. Awesome. So, all your work is done. Now you can all breathe in. And it's done. You can chill now, everyone. All the work is down to these guys at the front now. The judges are going to leave us and spend probably a half an hour or so or more going to decide on who is the judges' winner. So off you go. Off you go. Meanwhile, we're all going to vote on our choice, who we think the winner is. It's the people's choice. We've got a voting booth at the back there on the left-hand side, and you just have to queue up and go through the voting booth, and you'll get a tiddlywink. Is that right? How many tiddlywinks? 3 tiddlywinks you'll get, and you pop them in the jar. You can put them all in one jar or spread them around, whatever you want. On the left-hand side there, go through. We're going to have some drinks, and then we're going to come back for our keynote by our man Pete here. All right, cheers. Hello, hello, hello. And also, if you want to do some selfies with the Sync letters in the foyer, the balloons there, please do that.
I love the way it flows, I love the way it grows. There's something in this sound that takes me far. It's like a special song, can move my mood along. What I cannot say, you'll hear through my guitar. She told me at the bass line, and everything will be alright. She told me that the groove is mine, it will take us through the night. And where I'll go, can't explain, I'll never know. But it's beautiful, you can't take this away from me. The way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity, running through me. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity, running through me. I love the way it sings, all the joy that it brings. Remember skating down the road towards the park. I could never say no, you with that summer glow. The music gives me sun when winter starts. She told me at the baseline, everything will be alright. She told me that the beat is mine, it will rock us through the night. And where I go, can't explain, I'll never know. But it's beautiful, you can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity, running through me. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity, running through me. You can't take this away from me. The way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity, running through me. Come on, y'all. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity, running through me. Yeah, it's running through me. Yo, I wear notes like coats, blues like dudes, warmth in the rhythm, soul that glues, that bounce to my bones, jazz in my spine. The hop is my home, rap is my grind. I'm grinding on the backside of life, we dance. She threw me a chance, her hands in my pants. Actually, my pockets holding me tight. from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity running through me. Come on, y'all. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity running through me. But I need to go. I want to be the best for you, but I just don't know what to do. 'Cause baby, yes, I've cried for you. The time that we have spent together, riding through this English weather. And as the pressure builds, so does the tension between you and me. Time has gone so fast, watching the leaves fall from our tree. Baby, I just want you to know I still love you, love you, love you, love you, love the flashing lights. I knew a man who got lost in the big dark blue, and he came out alive. I knew a boy, I knew a man that looked a lot like you. I knew a time that you could stand still beside, never rushing by. I knew a place you'd go for your head to explode into peace of mind.
Can I have the mic? Hey, just a reminder, if you want to get your tiddlywinks in on the People's Choice vote, get over to the back corner there, grab a tiddlywink, make your vote. You've only got a few more minutes to do it before we finish the show. Go and vote.
I knew a boy who was swallowed by the sky, by the flashing lights. I knew a man who got lost in the big dark blue, and he came out alive. I knew a boy, I knew a man that looked a lot like you. I knew a time, I knew a place that felt a lot like you. Cause I was born a water baby, swimming with these times, the grooves that turn the grey to sunshine. Cause I will live through days that break me, swimming with these times, the grooves that turn the grey to sunshine.
I'm still trying to write the story as I see it. The trouble is when I say it, they don't believe it. They reckon I only say it, but I don't mean it. I'm trying to tell them I only say it if I can feel it. Cause money's tight, maybe tighter than it was before. I'm helping out on a mortgage I really can't afford. Family breaking north, I covered the trips abroad. Shaking, I'm making another loss on another tour. But what I done it for? To see my mother in the sun abroad. I run in the trouble that was coming for. My little brother got the hunger for. All the exact same pain that makes the rain in my stomach pour. So let me paint it broader. This for any dude who's got a daughter. Living off lines like your papa taught her. Ain't got no time to be coming for you. Go with the flow with this, running water. Go with the flow with this. Go with the flow with this. Go with the flow with this.
Don't you worry, two leaves won't grow the same. And people might forget your name, doesn't matter if they do. Don't you hurry, when the hot coffee pours will stain. And when the Uber left you in the rain, the time will come around to you. Despite the stress of spending so much time alone. Cause this geography is keeping me at home when I don't know the way to go. I move with the flow of this running water, this running water. Cause I was born a water baby, swimming with these times, the grooves that turn the grey to sunshine. Cause I will live through days that break me, swimming with these times, the grooves that turn the grey to sunshine.
Go with the flow with this, running water.
And as the sun goes down and the stars come out to play, I bet tomorrow I'll be sleeping.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have just 2 minutes left to vote. And then if you could please be back in your seats within the next 10 minutes. And I make that just before 9. Sorry, I can't quite see the clock. So that's 2 minutes, just 2 minutes left to vote.
same, that we're on the same train. If you're a little bit late and miss it, that would be a great shame. I miss your sweet, sweet kisses, loving when they were mine. When are you down? I'll make sure I'm in town. 'Cause you're on my mind. You're on my mind. You're all I can find. 'Cause you're on my mind. 'Cause you're on my mind. 'Cause you're on my mind. You're all I can find. 'Cause you're on my mind. All the colors, they shine through nighttime, and I'm thinking of you. Each dawn of every day, you're on my mind. You're on my mind. You're on my mind. You're all I can find. You're on my mind. 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 Love is hard to find. Girl, give me some time to say that I love you. Not time to say goodbye. Always wonder why you cry. Tell me, baby. The words are on my mind, but girl, give me some time to feel what I need to. And when the time is right and we're moving with the night, you'll know that I love you. You and I, we cannot be replaced. No, 'cause you and I will find a way. You and I will find a way. Love is hard to find. Girl, give me some time to say that I love you. time to say goodbye. And I always wonder why you cry. Tell me, baby.
Hello, hello. So if you could come back to your seats, please. You're welcome to bring your drinks. Grab an extra drink if there is something there. And we'll kick off with our keynote. And then we'll get the judges in to do the final. So please come back. Hello, right. I'd like to invite, it's a friend now, Pete Abbott, up on stage, my buddy. I've seen Pete literally grow up from a lad to a fine young strapping man as he is today. Good looking guy. He attended the first Sync the City, and we didn't have many designers in the early days, and he was one of like 3, but he really stood out. And actually at the time, I remember going around and he just stood out, and I remember sending myself an email, and it just said, hire Pete Abbott one day. But it never quite happened. But yeah, he's gone on, and he will tell the story. Great story, his involvement in Sync the City. So over to you, Pete. Let's have a hard.
Right, bear with me a moment. There we go. Setting the tone already. Christ, it's weird. I first came up on this stage in 2015, and I've come up many times since, pitching ideas, not winning a team, not hosting a team. Sometimes I've had a team. I tell you what, there's always so bloody many of you. It's always weird. So for those of you who have come up and done it for the first time tonight, it doesn't really get any easier. You just get slightly more comfortable with it right up into the point where you walk on stage. So to just set the tone a little bit, I thought I'd start off with a nice little picture of Ralphie waving here. And the reason for that is this is supposed to be a fairly casual, candid, and authentic chat. I'm not a CEO, I'm not a founder, I'm not going to be the next Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, and I'm not entirely sure I want to be. But what I have come here today to talk to you about is the real authentic value of Sync the City, my relationship to Sync the City and how it's helped my journey, and hopefully impart a little bit of wisdom to all of you as to why it's a really good thing to come to. But fortunately, over half of you in the audience have already made that decision because you've been here tonight. And really all I'm trying to sell is that you should probably come back again and hopefully highlight why you should. So, yeah, my name's Pete, and this talk is about how you are going to die. Buckle up. Unfortunately, it's a reality that very few of us have to really come to terms with in our lives. It's not a great reality, but hey, it's going to happen. Hopefully it won't happen for quite some time for all of you. Hopefully for me it won't happen for quite some time, but it's a reality that I've had to face a bit more realistically than hopefully any of you have. But I'm here to tell you that, hey, you are going to die, but at least you went to Sync the City. It's all good. It's all sorted. There you go. So, who am I? Right, I've said you know my name, but my accolades are few and far between, other than the fact that I'm a fairly happy chap. I've got a dog, I've got a beautiful wife who's here tonight. I've not founded a business, but I have had a pretty successful career, I think, in my own regards, at least where I started from. I am a designer, I'm a team lead, I try and paint. I play board games, I stay up way too late scrolling, and just to assert my dominance with all the millennials in the room, I own an original Charizard. So who's really winning in this room, right? Because we all know it's me. So I want to start our story with kind of in a few parts, and really start off right at the beginning, which is the sentence, yeah, why not? And I wouldn't be where I am today, which isn't anywhere particularly special, mind you. You know, as I said, you know, I'm not a billionaire, haven't founded a radically successful business. But in 2015, when I was a student at NUA, I did say this. I said, yeah, why not? Which I imagine most of you have done tonight. And if roughly 50% of you here are indeed students, well, I'm here to tell you that you've just made the best decision you've ever made. And if you didn't come this year, well, you better bloody come next year. So I started off coming to Sync the City by saying, yeah, why not? And I turned up in 2015 and pitched, created, and designed this monstrosity. Right, look at it. Let's just take a moment to behold whatever the F this is. Right, let's be real here, right? Like, 2015, I thought I was hot stuff. I rocked up at Sync the City. I barely knew what an app was, and I was like, yeah, stuff floating out of heads? Yeah, sure, why not? And the good folk of Sync the City decided that they would indulge me on this. So this was what I got up on stage and pitched to judges. It didn't win, shocker, right? But for those of you who have come here for the first time this weekend, I've spoken to a few of you. You've shown me your design work. You've told me kind of, oh, you're not sure if you're going to do A or B. Right? Look, behold, everything we have seen here tonight is a million miles better than this. And every year that I come back, it just keeps getting better and better. It's inching its way forward. The quality of the deliverables are fantastic. I have a bad back. I've had mild IBS at times. I've gone to a foreign country and not known what medicine to buy. You're solving my problems. It's great. It's fantastic. So first thing to say, 2015, student, no idea what I was doing, clearly. But what I didn't realise is when I came to the first Sync City event that I ever attended is that my future employers, got a job out of it, and soon to be friends were actually at this event. Right? I had no idea. They were watching me, I didn't know who to watch, and they kind of went, as John said, write an email saying, hi, this guy. And for whatever reason, when I finished uni, when I graduated from NUA, I went to Foolproof. I got a job as a junior designer, and a fun fact, big shout out to Tom here, who's helped run this event for many years, is Foolproof has actually hired 16 design graduates from NUA over the years, all within roughly a 10-year period. So, and I think this is talking to the authenticity of this event, right? You're not all going to be the next Zuckerberg, you don't want to be, but there are people here who will help you go on to have the rest of your career, to help you develop. I got let into the little room for the first time. Yeah, the special room, the no entry room. There were no unicorns, there's no clowns in there. There's just people talking. But what's fantastic is through all the conversations that I've witnessed this year, and I'm going to pull the curtain back a little bit, so much of that conversation is around helping people develop, right? Helping nudge them in the right direction. And that worked out really well for me, so I got a job. Way. So, went to my first Sync City, graduated uni, got a job, started climbing the ladder. That's what you do, right? You're young, you're 20, you think you're a hot shit designer. You're like, yeah, cool, right, let's keep going. Came back after my first year at Foolproof and won. Yeah, that was a. There were no flowing heads this time. I'm going to improve this one with the little glasses. Again, first time and only time I've ever won Sync the City. And for the keen-eyed of you, you'll notice that there's a certain somebody right over here who also got back up again on stage tonight. And this is a continued theme for this, right? Like, Sync the City is not an event purely based around who wins. It's about the community, it's about attending, it's about learning. So, second Sync the City, won, didn't become an entrepreneurial billionaire. I was lied to. Third Sync the City, slightly different event this time. Didn't bother digging up the picture of what we made because it was also not particularly good. But, again, lots of new faces, still learning. And the point that I want to raise with this particular image and this journey that I'm taking you on is every year that I've come to Sync the City since I was a student, there's a direct correlation between me coming to Sync the City and progressing in my career or personal life. So, first Sync the City, came, got a job. Second Sync the City, won, got a promotion. Third Sync the City, started dating my wife. Yeah, lucky me, eh? Fourth Sync the City, and again, you'll recognize Adam, for those of you who have known him this weekend. He kept popping up in these pictures. It was very weird. And again, these were the good days, right? This was like the process of learning to be a designer in tech, which I tell you what, is a bit of a challenge at times. And at this point, we're roughly at around 2018 here. I was a mid-weight designer, really knew my stuff now. I wasn't creating floating heads anymore. The lovely folks at Foolproof decided, you know what, he's all right. We'll send him around the world. This is a picture that I took of the Melbourne skyline as sunsets from the pier. If you've never been to Melbourne, I strongly recommend going. It's a fantastic city. And on Foolproof's dollar, because apparently I'm worth it, I got sent all around the world, America, Europe, Australia, all opportunities that I would never have had if I hadn't come to the first Sync the City. Hopefully by now you're getting it, which is like, yes, Sync the City is a good thing. But it wasn't to be. So 2018, pretty much coming to Sync the City on a regular basis. And in the words of one of my favorite authors, 2019, a slight embuggerance occurred. Get ready, we're all about to get a little bit weird. So for those of you that are fortunate enough to not know, this rather large dark mass here is a bone tumor. Pretty rock and roll, right? So in 2020, end of 2019, 2020, I got diagnosed with a form of bone cancer. Would not recommend it. And it's suddenly become one of those talks where it's like, oh shit, someone's talking about cancer. But to say the least, it was unexpected. There's about 700 people a year in the UK get diagnosed with a primary form of bone cancer. The good news is, if you're over the age of 30, you're probably fine. If you're under the age of 30, if your knee aches, go to the doctor, ask for a scan. Just roll the dice on that one, take my word for it. And the result of this is I'm basically like a shit robot now. They removed pretty much all the bones in my right leg. So from just below my hip to just above my knee, they basically just carved it all out. And miracle, modern medical science. I thought they were going to chop it off. And they went, no, we don't do that anymore. What are you talking about, caveman? Go home. They went, no, we're gonna build you a custom prosthetic, and no one will know the difference, and you get to have a hidden disability. And it was pretty intense, right? But it gets a little bit more intense, because that is what 12 months of chemotherapy does to somebody. I just want you all to take a little moment and have a look at that picture, and then have a look at this handsome specimen in front of you. Because that is fucking harrowing, right? Like that is a real thing. And I'm not coming up here tonight to talk to you about the fact that cancer sucks, because it does. I think everyone knows that. If you've ever had a loved one who's had cancer, you will know that it sucks. And it's also not a woe unto me, right? Call me a lunatic if you like, but I've never really once felt sorry for myself. And that's not because it's been shit, because it has been shit. That's because it's always an opportunity to learn. And while this was a really rough period, 12 months chemotherapy, mostly in hospital, had to learn to walk again afterwards, I spent most of that time improving my design skills, learning to code, being busy. And I would never have learned the skills to approach a challenge in life in a positive fashion, knowing that I could get through it, even though it probably will kill me one day, well, let's be real, if I hadn't come to Sync the City, right? If I hadn't been in an environment regularly, year on year, where I'd said, yeah, okay, do you know what, I'll just try it. It's not about winning, it's about becoming familiar with a challenge. This would have been far worse. And as I said, I really wouldn't recommend it. Avoid at all costs. 2 out of 10. Yeah, like pass go, do not collect $200, go straight to jail. But I'm also a firm believer that when bad things happen, and I'm going to be honest with you, bad things probably will happen. Again, winning is a very Western ideology, without becoming too philosophical with you. We like to cast things as good or bad. Often life is shades of grey, and it's really what you make of it, it's what you learn from them. And I'm a firm believer that when anything challenging does happen, use it as a catalyst for change. Often shaking things up is the best thing you can do. And so, we're at around kind of end of 2020 now, and for those of you keeping track, do you remember this thing? Not seeing a lot of masks in the audience, just saying. The thing of which we do not speak happened. So not only did I get to spend 12 months in hospital having chemo, COVID happened afterwards. It was a gift that kept on giving. But it's not all bad. My wife moved in with me. I decided to become a contractor. Make hay while the sun shines, that's what they say. And yeah, you know what, to be honest, It was perfect, right? I was learning to walk again, I was working remotely, and I was making bucket loads of cash. If any of you are thinking about it now, don't do it. The contracting market, not so good. But that wasn't the main reason I decided to do that, by the way. It was also because I just need to do something different, right? You need to make sure you do something that gets you up in the morning. And if you're not doing that, find something different to do, and you will be better off for it. And at this point in my career, we're looking at about 5 or 6 years in. Pretty respectable repertoire of household names. Shell, who doesn't love Shell? Fantastic company to work for. Everyone loves IKEA, yeah. You know, Games Workshop, I paint little plastic toy soldiers for fun. You know, it's a dream gig. And towards the end of this journey, I decided to go in-house and return to Sync the City. And this takes us up to about 2021. So again, hopefully by now, you know, I'm not really selling you anything. It's just a bit of a narrative about how my life has been a bit weird, but how I've kept coming back to Sync, and it's kept being pretty good. It's not gone entirely downhill yet. And so here's the team that I was with last year, and I rocked up last year, not intending to pitch. I just turned up to have a bit of fun because I wanted to get back into the environment. And, you know, those of you who have got to work with Floyd this weekend, you know which team it is because they're the team that has T-shirts. And once again, you've got Adam. He's like this spectre that's popped up. And you know, it was a great laugh. And you know, everything was pretty good. And I got a job at Fresher, which is what it said on the whole. Oh yeah, we've got a keynote speaker, he works at Fresher. And you all went, what the hell is Fresher? Unless you get your nails done, in which case you went, oh yeah, I know Fresher. And I've been working there for about 2 years now. I've been a team lead. Bought all the team fancy hats, box of Lego. Again, it's a skill and a job that I would never have had if I hadn't have come to Sync the City on a regular basis. And it's actually quite hard leading a team. I'm sure some of you have learned that this weekend, right? Oh, it's a bit tough. And turns out, actually, you just have to do it 3 or 4 times at Sync the City, and then you can go into any professional work environment and lead a team of people. It's that easy. Just got 4 years of Sync the City, you're fine. And the thing I love about this picture is Sync's always fun for me, but I know people who have come maybe once and they've gone, do you know what? I'm kind of glad I did it, but that was a bit intense. And it is a bit intense, right? But it's always better at the moment where somebody buys a fancy hat, no matter how intense it gets, or somebody like Floyd turns up with a T-shirt, right? All of a sudden, in that moment, everything becomes all right. I mean, like, can we all just acknowledge that Borat is doing most of the heavy lifting in this talk, right? But anyway, enough about me, because this isn't the P show. This is a chat about an authentic chat about the authentic value of Sync the City, right? And why you should all keep coming back, why coming here has been an excellent idea. And to be honest, one man coming up here and talking to you about the fact he's had cancer, right, that's not really going to sell it. So I did a bit of investigating. I went, okay, it's worked out pretty well for me, but 1 out of however many hundreds of people have come to this event, you know, we should probably boost those numbers a little bit. So I did a bit of digging. I got curious around who those people were who had been at the first Sync the City with me and the subsequent Sync the Cities and what they were doing now. And the next slide I'm about to show you, it kind of felt a little bit like bullshit to me when I was putting it together. I'm going to be honest with you, because the job titles are quite punchy. All right, look at those. I mean, some of you might not know what some of these roles are because, you know, you don't work in tech. But for those of you who do work in tech, you'll be going, Christ, is it like, really? Right, is that for real? And the key thing I want to articulate with this slide, with the research that I did looking into where everyone had been or has gone on to do who had come to Sync the City, is not a single person, not one person that I could find. Granted, some people couldn't remember their names, but most of the people that I could find, that I did look up, all of them have gone on to do bigger and better things. They're not in the place they were when they first came to Sync the City. And I think this is the true, authentic value of this event. It's not in producing the next entrepreneurial billionaire who changes the radical landscape of global economies. It's about helping people go on to have meaningful, fulfilling, successful lives in a way that sets them up to handle challenges, both professionally and personally, by giving them the space and the environment to safely learn how to do that. So you won't know that right now, because some of you, this is your first sync, some of you, it's your second. The veterans will know this. And for those of you who haven't come before, come next year and you'll learn it. But the skills you learn here set you up in a way that you can't, there are no courses that do this, right? You have to go and work in several different industries before you'll even get close to what you've learned here this weekend. And the more you come back, the more you'll develop the skills, the more you'll succeed in life. And it got me wondering, what is it exactly about Sync the City that allows you to go on to do all this stuff? Like, what is the secret sauce? Well, it's the Nicolas Cage chart of emotional turmoil. And for those of you who have been here this weekend, this should probably feel fairly familiar to you. So you rock up on Thursday, and you think you know it. You think you've got it. You think you've got a great idea. You pitch, and you realize that people aren't voting for you? What's that about? You realize that actually you've paid to be here for the weekend, so you should probably commit to working with a team of people you don't know. Bit weird, typical work environment if you work in tech though. Around kind of the morning of the second day, you think you've got it all sorted. You think everything's gonna be all right. And you don't need to listen to your mentors because you know what you're doing. Followed quite sharply by what you were feeling this morning, which was despair. And then about lunchtime, you're forcing yourself to feel optimistic about it. You're telling yourself, it's gonna be all right. You reach manic relief in which you've actually managed to do something and it doesn't look that bad. You get up on stage and you're nailing it. Isn't it magical? And then at the end of the weekend, you get to swan off into the sunset, being entirely more prepared for whatever Monday's going to bring you, both professionally and personally. So, as I said, oh yeah, nearly forgot the fucking meme. So there's only going to be one team that wins tonight, and I've won it once, but I've lost it more than I've won it. And I love this. I love this comic because I want everybody who's attended this weekend to bring this third place energy, right, to whatever happens next. Because it doesn't really matter if you win or not, because you've all learned so much. And when you go into work on Monday and someone says, hey, what did you do over the weekend? You won. You did. You've nailed it. It's not everyone gets a participation trophy. It's you've actually done something incredibly impressive, which is distill a month's worth of work into 54 hours. So yes, you are going to die. That is going to happen. But the journey on the way there will be better because you came to Sync the City. So come back next year.
Awesome. Yeah. Yes, awesome, Pete. Make sure you give that man a hug. Yeah, I mean, he, last year in the pub afterwards, he gave me we had a couple of beers and gave me an overview of what Sync the City meant to him. And I was basically in tears hearing about it all. So really appreciate it. It's probably the best advert ever. So, we're going to welcome the judges back. Decision has been made. Exciting stuff. So we're going to first do our thank yous. We've got to thank you, the mentors. If you'd come up here, the mentors. You've got some champagne there. And the expert advisors. Simon, there's not a picture of Simon on there. Simon Floyd, Paul Cutting, all please come up. We're going to get a photo. Everybody up there. These guys, they have a busy life. They got big jobs, family, everything. for them to give up their time to dedicate to this event, also organize. Special thanks to that man in the middle there, Tom, leading in the mentors. And Hayley here on the end. Thank you, Hayley, and all of you. Awesome work. We got the picture. Awesome, cool. Move on, thank you. You pick up your Chablis. Thank you, everyone. Right, we've got to thank a few other people. Julie Schofield, she doesn't like. Where are you, Julie? Thank you, Julie. She's at the back there. Kat Downs, Kat, we could not do this without you, Kat. Giving out all the wine there. Sophia, Mr. Stevenson, always catching our best side. There he goes. After the judges will share the photos with you. There will be a photo. It will be on your profile picture. He takes the best pictures. All of you, we normally see everyone updating their LinkedIn, Twitter, everything with photos by Mr. Stevenson. David, Natalia, the UEA ambassadors, and then also the King Center. Thank you very much. So, want to take a moment. Fiona, where are you? Come up here, Fiona. So, going to make a special mention. So, Sync the City. Come on up. My good mate. Yeah, so Fiona. Fiona, so we basically started it together, in 2013 probably. We connected over a tweet. And we wanted to do, basically one thing led to another. We talked about the idea of Sync the City. I spoke to Fiona about it. And she just made it happen at the UEA. And we've been in partnership ever since. And we've grown friends. I've seen Fiona grow at UEA through the ranks to almost the top, and then you quit before you got to the top. And you're going to chill out a bit now, aren't you? Yeah. So it's been really good. The whole experience, and I've got to know your boy Ben, and we've got a little present for you here. So Fiona's going to. We've got this, it's a picture of a camper van because Fiona's buying a camper van and she's going to be traveling around now, enjoying life. And there's like a word cloud in there, all the words from Sync the City. So there's your little picture there of your camper van. Thank you very much. Yeah, cheers.
So I just wanted to say huge thank you to John and to the whole Sync the City family. Although I've sort of retired, semi-retired, not sure yet, I will be back for Sync the City for sure every year.
Good. Thank you, Fiona. Special mention. Right. What am I doing next?
Come on, I'll do one more for the granddaddy, the mastermind, the OG of Sync the City. Yeah, another great year. And so, could you give it up and give some thanks to John Fagan?
So, what next? So, for some of you out there, you might get, some of you, we often see it, get excited about the startup they built. I'm going to use Claire here as an example. Are you here, Claire? Yeah, she's at the back there. She did a perimenopause pitch last year. There's her on the left-hand side, and she really wanted to take it forward. She approached Accela, and Tom leads Accela here, and James, and that's an incubator in Norwich. So an incubator is basically a kind of organization that will nurture you from your initial idea through to hopefully gaining customers and actually getting investment. So it's like it's 6 months or a year program where you'll get access to support, to nurture your startup through that early stage. But at that point in time, Claire wasn't quite ready for it, so she actually went to UEA and applied for the UEA Changemakers grant, and she got it. It was a grand, wasn't it, Claire? Yeah, a grant to take it forward. So any of you, if you actually, that is perfect timing. Tuesday this week, next week, is closing deadline to put your application forward. And that's a short. I went to Claire's YouTube channel and found that. That was a 1-minute pitch. You just do a 1-minute pitch, and then that's your application done. So basically, all of you have done it. So why not have a crack at it? If you're not, Tom Hacheski, where are you, sir? If you're not going to take it forward, there's other things to do.
There sure is. So obviously, if you're going to come back and you're going to continue your idea, you're going to push it through a program and see if you can make it happen, that's fantastic. But I imagine some of you are also quite exhausted, right? There is a huge network of stuff that happens in Norwich and Norfolk every single month, run by volunteers just like John and I and many other people in this room that you can go and experience. So you've done all sorts of things over the last few days. You have learnt, you have taught other people, you have tried new things, you've experienced things you've never done before, you've come on stage and you've done public speaking. All those things you can do at free events all around Norwich and Norfolk. I run Hot Sauce here. I'm the organizer of Hot Sauce, which is the largest creative community in Norwich and Norfolk. 2,000 people. 2,000 people. We have, obviously there is Sync. There are lots of other events coming for Sync as well. We have got, where are we? Develop Her, which are the awards for women that work in technology. We have got Code Bar down here as well. For anybody who just wants to learn how to code and doesn't know where to go, please go to Code Bar. So much stuff. Look at all this. And if you're into more formal learning, we have 2 fantastic universities on our doorstep that have courses and even short courses that you can try, from all sorts of things to, various different artistic and game development and even UX. So please go and see what you can do at your local universities. If you want to work in Norwich, there are businesses coming out of our ears here that are just oozing with all sorts of technical and interesting futuristic innovations. I mean, some of the logos on here are incredible, really. And I bet there are things on here you probably didn't even know are here. And some of these logos on here now, I think we have to remove because they've been acquired by huge companies. You can actually go and apply. A lot of these companies have apprenticeships. And one of these companies even came out of Sync the City. And finally, if you fancy doing this kind of thing, mentoring for other teams, some of you now have those skills. Because if you've been on this stage over the last couple of days, you basically have the skills to be a mentor at something like the Techathon. Now, the Techathon is something that happens at February half term. They are still looking for people to come and help. They're looking for people who have some tech experience. You don't need too much either. So just if you know a little bit of tech and you can help kids to learn some new coding skills in half term, or you want to mentor a team, please do get in touch with Claire. Is Claire here? Claire's here somewhere. There you go. Please go and see Claire and see if you can sign up and get some, and help at the Techathon. So I'm going to stop talking now because I think it's about time we hear once more from the man of the hour, the guy that started it all, back to John to take us home to the finish line. John Fagan.
Cool. Right, so we're going to get on with the important stuff. But before, because it'll go wild afterwards, so we have to thank you, judges. Thanks for taking time out to come along. Really appreciate that. Ben, you drove up from Bristol this morning for this. Stephen, thanks for keynoting on Thursday as well and hanging out with us on Thursday. So hand it over to you. So who's going to do the People's Choice?
It is me.
Come on up.
I got a mic. Hi, everybody. Please give a round of applause for yourselves, please. Now, wait. Let's practice. Ready? Go. I never get to do this. So I've done hackathons all over the world, and I'm a new entrant to Norwich, and I just want you to know that all of you made me feel like I'm at home. And I really, really appreciate that. And it's just so wonderful to see all of your passion, all of the talent. Honestly, I've been here for years, and I've not met any one of you, except for my friends at Brew in the back. Hello, friends. Hey, but as someone who is new to Norwich, I need you to know, feeling like you're part of a community is really, really important. Feeling like you can speak the language, feeling like you can understand the world around you is immensely important. And we were very happy to hear that the People's Choice Award addresses this challenge, but also it really addresses a gap in the institutions that you have just not meeting the needs of the organization or the needs of the people in your communities. So just to say thank you very much to everyone, and I just want to go ahead and announce that the People's Choice Award winner is, come on up. All right, everybody, clap lowly, clap medium, clap loudly. And we go. Hubble is the winner. Come on up. Hubble team, please, 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 come on up. Come on. Oh, look at this. Come on. Come on up, come on up, come on up, come on up. Give me a hug. We are so proud, honestly. Say 2 words.
What's the name of any of you? I have no idea what to say. We want to say an enormous thank you to our fantastic team. These are... When we started this, I mean, Kate and I are not techies at all. We work in the public sector, sorry. I pitched this idea on Thursday because it's a dream of mine for years, and Kate's, and other people in the sector. And when we pitched it, all these young, well, apart from a couple of you, all these young, wonderful students just came running up to us and said, we want to help, we want to help, we want to help. I have never in my life worked in a team like it. It's just been, they have been incredible. And they're our ducklings. And they took our idea and they ran with it, and they have worked solidly for 2 days and just come up with ideas, come up with questions, and tested us and said, what about this, what about that? And we've gone, okay. And they are amazing. And if any of your tutors are out there, they are incredible. Give them firsts. So really, I think we have to say, because thank you to the team. Sorry, and thank you to an amazing mentor, to Ben, who kept us on track and kept us going. And we hope to take this on now, because, yeah, it's happening. It's going to happen. Finally. Woo! Thank you for voting for us. Thank you. Thank you.
I think you should keep it off there.
What a night. What an amazing 54 hours. I kicked off on Thursday by saying the key word was learn. Stand up, those of you that are still learning. Thank you. What an amazing event. And I know the thank yous have already gone out, but I'd just also like to say thank you to everyone that's made this possible. But before I announce the winner, I want to talk about a young lady's idea that was very, very remarkable, was delivered as one of the first pitches on Thursday, and I thought her pitch this evening was incredible. I think the idea really embraces what our young people of today are all about. So I'd like you all to put your hands together and give a massive round of applause to Daisy. As judges, we could absolutely see that the budget bunny idea would absolutely work in the future and would be a great commercial opportunity. And it was so close to being the winner. Now, in true delivery of the winning style, I'm not going to tell you who it is quite yet, but what I am going to do is give you some key points of why we believe this idea and business opportunity will be successful for the future. So, it had a commercial entity to it. It was current. It was relevant. Those of you that were here on Thursday heard me say I wanted the winning opportunity to do good. So it does good. It brings the community together, which we know that this amazing county we live in is so fabulous at that. I also mentioned belief. I said to you all, believe in yourself, believe in your idea, convince us, make us believe your idea, make us believe that your idea could come true. And this opportunity did that. It took audience participation, and it was very special. I am pleased to announce that the winner, drum roll please, of Sync the City 2023 is Trailblazers! Come up you come.
Come on, everyone. Oh, thank you so much. I don't know what to say. I never do this part. I've done Sync the City. I think this is the 6th time now. And Pete mentioned earlier, I was the person in the photo. I won it the first year ever, and it's been downhill since then. Never got further. Never done the pitch. Last year, first time, I did the 1-minute pitch. Didn't get past the tiddlywinks, unfortunately. So this year I was like, it's going to be my thing. I'm going to do it. I'm going to get a team. We're going to do it. And I had an incredible team this year, so give it up for them. Thank you. Yeah, and I really couldn't have done it without them. They probably could have done it without me, to be fair. Managing this many people is very difficult in a very short amount of time. And I could definitely not have done it without Bex. She's been amazing. Definitely. But yeah, thanks very much. Don't know what else to say. This is incredible. Thank you.
Cool. Well done, everybody. Get the photos. Gather in. We need the... Yeah, each side. Get in the middle. Get in the middle, Stephen. Come on. Awesome. Yeah. So the people's, the winners, both winners, if you could go to the back, we want to do a quick interview with you guys, I think, in the foyer. Excellent. All right. Well done, well done. Lots of smiley faces, that's good. And yeah, the smiles just keep on going. They go on for weeks and weeks and weeks. We'll get lots of great comments. I forgot to give you your beverages. Here's your beverages. Yeah, there we go. Thank you very much. And yeah, that's pretty much a wrap. One more thing. We've had a little chat with, Julie's been having a chat with King's Centre and Kat. And yes, we, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll, drum roll. We have a date for Sync the City 2024. Yeah. Okay. That's it, yeah? Have a good evening. We've got to get out here in, what? What? I've got to actually say the date. The 28th to the 30th of November. And it's all booked here at the King's Centre. Cheers. Yes, awesome. Have a good evening. Bye. See you at the after party, whoever's got tickets.
Thank you all so much for coming, and we hope to see you next year.